So we have a little bit different approach to this type of problem, and it's called factor by substitution. So maybe we have something like 3, and then we have like some little thing in there, squared, plus 4, and then the same little thing there, it's like a little cloud, plus 1. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to let that cloud thing, whatever it is, some gobbledygook, it could be a set of parentheses, it could be a term, it could be all kinds of things. But we're going to replace it with U. And these are called U substitutions. So not U-Y-O-U, but U, the letter U. And it's a lowercase u. So then you would have like 3u squared plus 4u plus 1. Then you factor that. And eventually you have to go back to what u equals, but I'll show you how to do that. Okay, but that's the big idea here with the substitution. Okay, so it says factor by substitution. So instead of writing h to the 4th, I'm going to write h squared squared. Okay, now that might seem a little weird, but it's right. 2 times 2 is 4, and that's how exponents work. So I can write that, plus 4h squared minus 12. Now you might say, well, how do you know to write h squared squared? Look at the middle term here. See, that's going to be our u. So it goes by the middle term. If your u substitution is going to work, then you have to be able to replace this with u. And I'm going to write that because we're going to need it. We're going to say let h squared equal u. Or you can write it the other way, u equals h squared, either way. Maybe I want to write it the other way. I do want to write it the other way. So now I'm going to show you something. If I take that u equals h squared, and I were to square both sides, like I squared this side and I squared this side, then I would get u squared equals h to the 4th. See, and that's what we want. We want to be able to have u squared for the first term, and then we want a u term in the middle, and then the constant at the end. All right. So here comes the substituting part. I'm going to take the u, and I'm going to put it in there, and I'm also going to put it in there. So then I'm going to have, here's my u substitution, u squared plus 4u minus 12. Now, if you're wondering where that square came from, see that little 2 right there? That's the 2, okay? So I replaced the parenthesis part, the h squared, with u, and then I replaced this h squared also with u. So both of those were replaced with u. Okay, now it's a much friendlier situation, and we can factor this polynomial. The leading coefficient is 1, so I have a situation where I just need 2 numbers that multiply to be negative 12, and I need them to add to be 4. So I think of numbers that multiply to be negative 12. Since it's a negative 12, I'm going to need 1 negative and 1 positive. It's going to be 2 and 6, by the way. Those are going to be the numbers. And I'm going to put the negative on the 2 because I want them to add to be a positive 4. So you've got to think about that a little bit. Don't rush through these because that's oftentimes where mistakes are made. But that's going to work. Those add up to 4. Negative 2 and 6 is 4, if you add them. Okay. And now I can just write u minus 2 and u plus 6, okay? So that's great. Okay, now what we have to do is we have to take the u out. Okay, so we're going to substitute, and the substitution is going to come from what we set up right here. So at the beginning, we said we're going to let u equal h squared. So now those u's, this one and this one, I'm going to put in an h squared form. So it's going to look like this. H squared minus 2 and h squared plus 6. And then we're done. So you substitute the u in, but then you have to take it back out. Okay, there you go.